Hello guys, so in this video we would be discussing about the comparator interface in Java. So in the prior videos we had discussed about the comparable interface. So the major disadvantage that we had with the comparable interface was that we had only a single sorting sequence that was provided, and moreover that the changes that we had to do in our comparable interface or the comparable class that implements that interface was that the changes we had to do were only limited to that particular class. That means we have to change the class properties in order to get a particular result. Okay, so but now we are here with the solution to that problem. Okay, so all the theoretical part you can all check it out on any site. Just type in the comparator interface in Java and you would get your queries answered. So yeah, we would be using this student class only um, for our comparator interface also, so that you can get a good idea regarding how this interface works. Okay, so here we are in our class. So now I would be first creating a array list for this, and would be adding some values. So basically what are my values? My values are roll number, name and marks. So I would be adding roll number, name and marks. So guys, here is my entire array list for my student class. Okay, so now I want to sort this list. First of all, I would show you what would be printing. But yeah, all this is clear. But then also, so I would be making use of kind of a lambda expression. So lambda expressions, we would be having a separate video for that, but for till now you just understand that you can do via iterator also, but for the time being I am using a lambda expression. So guys, see, this is your output. This was your input, Akash, Aman, Sumit and Ram, and this is your output. So now you would say that where is your comparator interface? So now what you want to compare these students based on their marks. That means the students who is having the least marks should appear at the top. Okay, so yeah, so now we what does your comparator interface say? Your comparator interface is that it can any class can implement that comparator interface and can provide a functionality for that. So we can create a class that is mm, by marks, and we would implement the comparator comparator and we would be implementing this comparator interface. So now it would be prompting us to implement the overriding methods. That is, now in this we have uh, that is, we are to override or to compare object 1 with object 2. And now I would be passing here my context, that is student. So it would give me my student. Why? Because at the first we haven't passed any argument or any parameter to our comparator interface. That's why the natural ordering was of an object. So now it is giving me of type student. Now what we want is, I want to return my marks. So first is the long method, we would go by that. So if we would see that if o1 dot marks is greater than is less than o2 dot marks. Okay, so this would return -1, same as the case of comparable also. Else uh, else if o1 dot marks are greater than o2 dot marks, then we would return 1. Else there, if they are same, the return 0. So now instead of this, now you would do that collections, yeah, dot sort. Now you have to sort your list according to the comparator past, because that is a user defined class. Okay, so new by marks, understood? So now it would sort your students according to your marks. So see, Sumit having the least marks is at the top, and Aman having the highest marks is at the bottom. Okay, so uh, this was your long method, but yeah, you can also do this in one line, that is return o1 dot marks minus o2 dot marks. So what is done here is that if our marks is less than, if o1 the student 1 marks is less than the student 2 marks, so it would return -1. If the student 1 marks are greater, it would return +1, and same for other cases also. So now also your output would be same, that is Sumit. And now what if there are two people who are having the same name? For example, we say there is another student whose roll number is 13 and his name is also Ram, and his marks are mm, let us say 25 only. So here we are having two things same, name and marks. So we can define another class. So class by uh, um, by name, then marks, then roll number. So implements comparator, and comparator is of our type student. So what needs to be done here is, we have to implement those method, that is compare method. So now we have to compare first on the basis of their marks. So we can say that if they are having the same marks, if o1 dot marks are equal to o2 dot marks, see if they are having the same marks. Okay, so now we would be seeing that if o1 dot name dot compare to o2 dot name, return what we would be returning, if the name is also same, so then we would return the roll number dot roll number minus o2 dot roll number. Okay, yeah, it would be equals, if their names are also equal, then we would return the roll number. Okay, else according to the marks only. So o1 dot marks minus, okay, oops, the return statement, o1 dot marks minus o2 dot marks. So now here what we did, okay, we can also add another case in here also. That is, if they are having the same marks but different names, so we can do that, return dot name that compare to o2 dot name. So in this, now you are confused that from where this compare to method came. So your name is a type of class string. Okay, string object name is your string object. So this string object has internal functionality for your compare to method. So now if you do new name roll number marks, see name roll number marks is this, see, Sumit, Akash, Ram and Ram. So now if I do this roll number to be this, it would be coming beneath this because 13 is greater. Okay, and rest all marks are same. And this depends upon person to person or the condition. How do we define our comparator? Because in if you do competitive programming questions also, then there is a possibility that this class is hidden from you, or they only tells you that we had made a class and you have to do certain changes to that class, so you cannot pass a comparable to that. So you need to always have a comparator for that class. Okay, so uh, now you can also do one thing, that instead of doing this whole class kind of thing, you could also have done, mm, we could have done something of this kind, anonymous inner class, if you have heard the name. So you could have made a new comparator. So now based on the simple ordering return, I would be returning o1 o1 dot marks minus o2 dot marks. So here our problem would be solved. For that I should comment this all. So and this would sort according to the marks, and you can add other statements to this also, like in here we added these methods or some other of your type as per you require. So this all needs a bit practice, so I recommend you all to practice some kind of questions regarding this comparable and comparators, because this is a very important concept, as it is used to sort your list according to the user defined type of the criteria. So that's a great thing. So I hope you all understood this video, and if you prevail any doubts, please feel free to comment down below.